Welcome to the sofa. I'm Sherry.
I'm Bonnie, and this is the Sisters Hallmark Sip and Chat podcast.
We're a couple of crownheads who love all things Hallmark.
Welcome to the sofa in week 7 of Hallmark's Countdown to Christmas on the W channel. In this episode, we will be sipping a candy cane Christmas mocktail and chatting about the 4 movies, the Christmas Cookbook, The More the Merrier, A Grand Ole Opry Christmas, and Christmas at the Catnip Cafe.
Movie number 1, The Christmas Cookbook, starring Ashley Newberg as Veronica and Frigo Lopresti as Cullen. Suddenly single at Christmas, Veronica is invited to join the Xmas Club, a cooking club of other unattached foodies who combine their love of making food with a commitment to help their community during the holidays. She and group leader Cullen may butt heads, but their undeniable chemistry may also make for a perfect pairing. Let's find out how this movie rated on our SOFA rating system. But first, a quick explanation. Our custom SOFA rating system includes a list of 20 Hallmark tropes broken down into 10 categories that will determine how Hallmark is this movie. You can download the list from our website and social pages. This movie earned 17 out of 20 SOFAs, and the categories are Town Holiday Celebrations, Here Comes the Bride, Family and Friends, Unexpected Hiccups, Affairs of the Heart, Big Life Changes, and 5 extra SOFAs for the charitable event, Party for Local Volunteers, and edible houses for auction for the charity toy drive.
Okay, so my first comment, worst statement I ever heard. A breakup is like taking down the Christmas tree. It may feel empty at first, but you're always glad to have the space back. How he thought that was going to be a comforting breakup statement, I'll never know.
I don't know. I suppose if the relationship was really bad, you'll be glad to have that person, like 99 problems, but that one ain't one, I really thought his cooking puns were funny, though. I have to say, it was really cute. And I found that they were attracted like from the beginning. It seemed obvious to me that they had good chemistry from the beginning. And I also like the sentiments around this whole group, the idea of these single people at Christmas getting together, not just because of their love of food, but to help others. I thought that was great. And they had some just little catchphrases, single but not alone, all the trimmings but no strings. And I really like that there's this club that whose focus is really about helping others.
Yeah, I agree. It tends to happen to the best of us to take the safest route instead of a risk and being true to ourselves. So I was really glad to see that she saw past that and pursued her book about her new friends because just like you said, these people had these funny little puns, but they were all single and not alone and had great stories that they brought to this group.
Yeah, I found that the whole connection between them, even though she was like a newbie in there, she seemed to fit in really nicely just because they're all about, that connection and just being not being alone. They're alone, they're not alone at Christmas and helping others as well, making sure that, they're stepping out of themselves and their issues to help others. I thought that was great. I really enjoyed the romance. I mean, there's nothing like being stuck in a fridge that has, to break down those emotional walls that they had obviously put up, that we all put up to protect ourselves, really. And I enjoyed that they had this great connection without too much of the steaminess, like it was just really, it seemed genuine, it seemed natural to me. And that's the best kind in these movies for me.
Okay, so this is all about cooking, and it's not a secret to our listeners that I cannot cook, but I have an incredible respect for those that can. And the one thing that I really loved about these people, and that I love about all that do this, is those that cook with heart. Their food is the best ever. And that was proven here because they all used family favorites that they cooked with love to represent their family. So I really liked that a lot.
Yeah, and the edible architecture, that was super cool. I'd never seen that before. I love a traditional gingerbread house, But the idea of using other types of food to do that, that was super cool. And I'd like to try that sometime. I'm not really good at the gingerbread house, but maybe it'd be better with charcuterie or whatever. And I've always loved cookbooks, and I love the like she always like collected her little recipes and stuff. And I have cookbooks too where, I have little special recipes that I stick in. And I do love the idea of her creating this one that is steeped in all these family traditions and includes personal stories. I would totally buy that book.
Yeah, I agree. Because that charity work was outstanding. Because I've never seen a gingerbread house that was made from charcuterie items. Like, seriously, that was ingenious. I don't even understand how they kept it together. That was
I don't
really, really.
either. It was really cool, really like smart out of the box kind of thinking. I mean, maybe other people do it, but I'd never seen it before. We've seen a lot of Christmas stuff. So
Yeah, that I haven't seen.
it seemed more unique than others. I really enjoyed this movie. Honestly, I loved how they were a close-knit, supportive group of each other and their community, and it was a welcome twist on the Christmas romance ensemble movie. And plus, all the yummy food that they were making definitely made me hungry.
Yes, I agree. The Christmas Club with singles doing great work for others is awesome. But as you said earlier, the thing I loved the most was no one left alone at Christmas. That bringing their cooking talents together to make a personal tradition is something that now they'll never be alone because they'll always have each other, even when they start their own new lives, which is what was happening at the end. Everyone was starting
Yes,
to partner up.
to couple up, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Movie number two, The More the Merrier, starring Rachel Boston as Alice and Brendan Penny as Brian. A Christmas loving ER doctor is determined to make the season as fun and festive as possible for her patients and families stuck in the hospital over the holidays. A road closing storm makes it even more of a challenge, as does her growing feelings for the serious but soft hearted cardiologist who joins the staff on the record breaking Christmas Eve. This movie earned 17 out of 20 sofas, and the categories are military might, location, 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 family and friends, unexpected hiccups, affairs of the heart, big life changes, and for the five extra sofas, the charitable event volunteering to work on Christmas Eve, cookies for the patients stuck in the hospital at Christmas.
It stinks to be stuck in the hospital at any time, but honestly, during Christmas just seems like it would be the toughest for sure. And right off the bat in this movie, though, like there were a lot of pregnant women. And like so you knew something was up because they specifically said that Christmas Day is like the second least popular day to give birth. I think they said what February 29th, like the leap day was like the least number of people
Yeah,
born that day.
because it only
So
comes four times
because yeah,
every
exactly.
4 years.
So exactly, which makes sense. So which so you knew it was the perfect setup for a bunch of Christmas babies to be about happening here.
Which was so cute. So, so cute.
Yes.
The fact that Alice understood that being in the hospital on Christmas can be so upsetting to the patients that she put in all the effort to make it as cheery and bright as she could really said a lot about who she was and her personal character. And it just showed that going that extra mile for others is always worth it.
100%. She was fantastic with the kids. She really, you could see how settled she was in this group of people. And then juxtaposed to him, who he was awkward around every child. Like it was funny to the point that he was awkward, not scary. It was just kind of funny. So totally opposite of her. But then, she's warming up his cackles.
That's exactly right. Going back to those Christmas babies. I love the part where she was so moved after delivering the first baby, because seriously, being part of that miracle of life has to be an amazing gift that you get to be a
Yes.
part of that. So that I did think that that really touched me because she works in the ER. She sees and gross and like all the time in a quick motion, but this was the one thing that made her stop and think.
Yeah. And she had many chances in this movie because there's very many. And then each of those stories had their own interesting story too. And that first one, having a baby, I haven't had a baby, but I know that having a baby is scary, but having a preemie, it must be even scarier. So at least that doctor who was having the baby had her brother, the cardiologist, there, even if she didn't want him in the room, which I totally get. You, I mean,
They
brother,
were
not
great
good there.
siblings.
Yeah, they had great sibling chemistry for sure.
100%.
But the fact that she was stuck in a storm and her husband couldn't be there, at least she had some family there. So I think that was really nice, and especially under that circumstance.
100%, I agree. I had a preemie, as you know, your niece
Hmm.
is a preemie, and it is a very scary thing. So, and it, I mean, to some degree, it was even scary for her, and she's a doctor who knows exactly what's about to happen. So that made it more real life. But I agree, the chemistry between those two as siblings was like perfect. I really like
Hmm.
that a lot. It was interesting how everyone loved Alice, but no one really knew her. Like that was intriguing to me. I'm not sure how you spend so much time with people and do not tend to get close. Like in our jobs, we work remotely, so you could see how you only have so much time with people. You don't have that same one-on-one, but she's in the trenches with them all day long. So that seemed very interesting that they didn't know anything about her, but she had made such an effort, sorry, to be super interested in their lives. Like she knew a ton about them. Like she was invested in these people. So it was interesting that running away to protect herself from becoming too close to anyone, obviously it's not a healthy way to live, but you could see that there was something that must have happened for no one to know about her. To love her but not know her was an interesting concept.
Yeah, I think because she was so outwardly connected with everyone, that was the wall that she put up. Like she's like,
Mm,
I'm just super into activities, and it's ER. She's an ER doctor, which is constant, busy, busy, people in and out. So you're not like a GP where you're seeing the same patients all the time. You're seeing different people come and go. So there's not that connection built like you would if you were just a GP. And I think that at that time she was doing that purposely. And I get that she wanted to go to different hospitals and do different things, and learn different stuff to be a better doctor.
mm.
But then I think it also goes to prove that right where you are doing what you're doing for the people that you're doing it for, even in this small community, can help you be the best doctor too. Especially those people really needed her as a doctor. And I love this
Right.
community was such a great community. They were totally the kind of community that just pitches in to help everyone anytime they can.
Yeah. And speaking of pitching in, my husband and I, we love that tow truck man. We loved him. It was
Hmm.
so sad that he had lost his wife and he just wanted to be helpful. He wanted to remain connected to his community. He was just a lovely person. And that role, you knew he was going to be the saving grace for people. So I really liked how they had that little ad in there.
And it was also amazing they added a Bills player in like the second
Yeah.
time. The Bills are getting highlighted there. And it's DeMarcus
It's their
Hamlin.
year.
Yeah, and it's wonderful that Hamlin is okay, but he had a very shocking accident on the field, obviously involving his heart, and thank God he survived, and now he's educating others about this serious heart issue. And it kind of didn't really at first see how it connected, but of course there was this young man who had a heart issue. The cardiologist is there. Like I was really surprised they showed him, and I'm like, this is fantastic. This is what I love about that whole NFL and Hallmark collaboration, that we're getting moments like this.
I agree. Having another Bills player involved that shared his real life story, like that takes a
Right.
lot of guts. And to really show that he is helping others, including children and adults, get through these same issues, because it's probably just as good for him as it is for those that get to talk to him. But being able to use his stature as a way, like that kid became like the hottest commodity because these were the kinds of friends that he had, and to him
Yeah.
he was just his friend, his heart friend. And I thought that was
Yeah.
really a really cute way to have that set.
Yeah, and it's smart because then we learn about the cardiologist, that he's not just a cardiologist, that he also has a heart issue. And so through all of this, he gets connected because you can see he's a very aloof, like he's a very warm person when you get to know him. But at first, like his job, he's very serious. He's kind of aloof. He doesn't get too involved with things. And then, of course, she warmed his heart. And so did this community. So it wasn't just her, it was the people in the community, this young boy, and the connection that he had to that group. I thought that was excellent. I really, really did enjoy this movie. I enjoyed the heart of this movie.
100%. Seeing how Brian came into his own with people once he came down from his high horse and seeing that everyone in the team is just as important as he is, Alice let him know the charge nurses and all of the team were the real heart of the team, playing on the heart part,
Hmm.
and very important. I think that's a really great message to take away because sometimes we think that not you or I, but in the general public, that some people are below us and we need to stop that kind of thinking. Everyone has value. So I thought that was a good message to come out of there.
100%. Nurses are amazing.
100%.
Movie number three, A Grand Ole Opry Christmas, starring Nikki DeLoach as Gentry, Christopher Palaha as Mac, James Denton as Vaughn, and Sharon Lawrence as Rita. One magical Christmas, Gentry, whose late father was a country music star, learns that combining Christmas magic and Grand Ole Opry magic can create an even greater magic, time travel. Even more miraculous is the chance meeting with her father in 1995 and a special Christmas song with the power to change both of their lives. This movie earned 10 out of 20 sofas, and the categories are town holiday celebrations, location, 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 family and friends, affairs of the heart, and Christmas magic.
So this movie didn't have a high rating as far as our sofas, but for me personally, I found it to be a great movie. I was so surprised by the time traveling movie again because I didn't even notice that in the clips about it that that's what was happening. And for me personally, it did a time travel for me. It brought me back to some personal special moments of going to the Grand Ole Opry with that backstage tour I did with my friend who has recently passed away. And you and I, Bonnie, did the VIP there at the Grand Ole Opry. It was a wonderful event. So it was really nice to see that and take us back to that time.
100%. I really was excited for this movie. Had absolutely no idea that time travel was a part of it. And honestly, the score might be low, but honestly, the Christmas magic portion of this is like 50% of it, really, because it was so much Christmas magic in here. And I love, love, love the time traveling movies. And this is what, the second one of the season? Last year, Christopher Palaha was in that other time travel movie, The Biltmore Christmas, which was also one of our favorites of the last season we did. Um, this one reminded me of like Field of Dreams, with the child reconnecting with their dad to find the way through that moment in their life. I thought that was kind of cool.
I never even thought of that. That's a really good depiction. Mm. I did think that the stars in this movie were awesome at playing the roles. And they even like the thought of having a second chance to see your parent who that's passed, that would be such a miracle. I couldn't even help but cry
Mhm.
because we've lost our parent. And the fact that she got to go back and have that second chance, that other moment, that was quite amazing.
Yeah, I really do think it would be amazing to obviously to spend time with our late parents again. And I don't
100%.
know how like it would be difficult for me to be not, overwhelmed not overwhelmed with emotion and trying to like lose it. Like she played it pretty cool. Like I would not I think I would have just broke down and like cried and they would be like, "I don't know who you are," because it's 1995. But
Yeah, but
I don't know that I could have held it together as well as she did, that's for sure.
I think what you said makes perfect sense because it was so obvious to them that, oh, here are the rules of time travel, as if it's a normal occurrence in our
Yeah.
day-to-day lives. They knew what the rules were. Okay, you can't do this, you can't say that, you can't. Whereas Seriously, in that moment, I agree with you. You would just have a reaction and an emotion because we wouldn't have a line script to tell us that, no, no, this is what you're going to do. However, all the characters in their younger roles did an excellent job of staying true to the older vision in our timeline. I love that. The magic that they knew what was going on, or sorry, going to happen in the past really made it also a bit of a mystery movie of sorts because two of them were aware of what was going to happen and set them up by giving her the pin. And that was, I thought that was quite cool.
I know because it did seem very much at first that things were just by chance and all this other stuff. And then we find out
Mhm.
later there was actually a lot more going on behind the scenes. And as you said, these stars, they're so funny together. I mean, they're legit OGs, but the connection between them, the chemistry, excellent. Just so good. And the 90s outfits in the, oh my gosh. Oh my
And
gosh. I'm
everyone
like,
noticed when he came back.
they're like, what are you wearing? It's like, yeah, it was bad. So funny. And it did seem, prophetic that she introduced him to her dad as her husband because he had to fake being her
Mhm.
husband there. And it's like, oh, this is my husband. So it's like, oh. And I love, there was a couple of, a quote that I really like this persistence is just as important as talent. I loved that quote. And I've been thinking about
Yeah.
it ever since. And like, what a gift she received to be able to write that special Christmas song with her dad after, regretting not having that chance because he passed away.
100%. Sorry, bringing tears to my eyes just thinking about it because it's just so nice.
Hmm.
And that, like you said about calling her husband, true love is always, whew, true love always finds a way, right? So
Yeah.
she broke it, she set it into fruition, like into the future to happen. And the love of a father to his daughter, it just goes without words, as we know.
Yeah.
It's an uncanny love.
Yeah, absolutely. And how amazing, it would be to hear, an artist like Brad Paisley sing your
Oh, so
song,
good.
that was such a beautiful way to end it. And he, of course, he's great and he killed it. That song is
Yeah,
awesome. I hope there's like a couple songs this season. I hope we're gonna make it on our Spotify list here so that we can listen to them outside of the movies. But honestly, there was some truly special magic in this movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
movie number 4, Christmas at the Catnip Cafe, starring Erin Cahill as Olivia and Paul Campbell as Ben. Cute cats and Christmas fun abound in the Catnip Cafe. Olivia finds out she has inherited half ownership in the cafe from her beloved aunt, then travels to upstate New York to convince her fellow cafe owner, veterinarian Ben, to sell. But he has his own plan to convince her to keep it open. Will the success of the feline festivities and the outreach to some very special members of the community persuade her to keep the cafe beyond Christmas? This movie earned a whopping 19 out of 20 sofas, and the categories are military might, town holiday celebrations, location, 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 family and friends, affairs of the heart, big life changes, Christmas magic, and the 5 extra sofas for the charitable event of free veterinary care for pet parents who are struggling at Christmas.
OMG, a movie filled with adorable kitty babies. Oh my gosh. I was like, loving it. Plus, two of my favorite Hallmark actors, recipe for fun and festive fur-filled movie here. I love
Oh,
that.
no pun intended.
Lots of puns intended. I meant all the puns. And also highlighting pet adoption. I really enjoyed that. I don't know how many
Mhm.
movies we've had where they literally highlighted pet adoption so well. It was awesome. And also combining that with the young boys adoption, that was even better.
I totally agree. I knew you would love this movie because kitties are your thing.
Yes.
So that fur-filled movie pun, the perfect for you. This story did a lot of with the flashbacks still. That whole
Hmm.
her Olivia having to take a long look and time back to figure out what her aunt's plan was for her. And the fact that it took her so long was a bit of a concern. But again, that whole traveling back in time, not figurative, more figuratively than specifically, or directly. Oh boy, that other movie got me upset, and now I'm trying to come back from it. This is fun. This is kitty fun. But yeah, I did think that that was interesting that she didn't even she remembered about the kitty finding in the tree and whatever, but it took her forever to make that connection.
Yeah, connect the dots between that and why her aunt might have opened a cat cafe
Mhm.
and why she would have, you know, left her half. Yeah, it did it there was like that part was a little bit dragged out and there was a lot of these other events with the kitties kind of filling in the time for this movie, which I personally enjoyed. Because like I'm like, how fun would it be to do all these events for the cafe, but like so much work that her aunt obviously did.
Uh-huh.
And once again, a
Yeah,
cameo by
TK.
by Paul Campbell's wife, Kimberly Sustad, who is also an awesome Hallmark actor. And second time for this season, by the way, that she's kind of stuck herself in. And this time it was very fun and very flirty. I loved it. I love that she pops into his movies during the season.
I do too. I love them as a couple. And I did try to see in the credits if it was one they had wrote or directed or anything, but I didn't actually notice. So and maybe it was. And maybe that's why she pops into certain ones because they're involved. But I have to say, all the kitties were adorable, but the grouchy kitty, I love that one. That reminded me of that orange famous cat Garfield, where it just has its own mind, and this is what I'm going to do. And I love that cat.
You gotta love an orange kitty. It's funny you mentioned Garfield, and this just popped into my head. But I remember when we were young, one of the Christmas presents I bought you was like a Garfield eraser. Because I think I was probably like 12 or something, and I thought it was really cool. Anyways, it just reminded me of that. I'm
Because
not
you
sure
always knew
how,
you were going to be a cat woman.
apparently, and you must have liked Garfield at the time, so I thought it was a good choice. I don't know. Um, I don't know how much work I would get done if I worked at a cat cafe because like cute kitties all day. And I want to adopt all the kitties, all of them. None of them can like they all have to stay with me. And I spent honestly most of the movie screaming every time a cat showed up. I'd be like, babies, babies, babies. Because like that's what I call my kitties, my babies, right? And I watched the movie with my baby girl, Heather, who's like a tabby torby kind of cat, who is also a sassy cat.
Oh yeah.
The movie that they were watching, Sassy Cat. And, she and her brother, Midnight, they're my little fur babies, and I absolutely love and adore them. We adopted them actually at Christmas time, December 5th, I think it was. So we're actually almost at the time for
I
the
didn't know that.
anniversary of their gotcha date, which is what people kind of call it when you adopt them. And they were both naughty when we got them, and they were both nice. They were very cute, but they were very bad. But we love them so much, and they honestly became one of the best Christmas presents we've ever gotten.
Oh, that's such a sweet share. All of the Christmas events that they do to raise money for these animals and help with the adoptions was so beautiful and creative. Like
Hmm.
really creative games. Like just reading the book, even I know it was a simple task, but reading the book to the cats was like that was just so heartwarming and it's such a simple thing, but I was like, oh, they made a whole event out of that.
I have so many books I really never thought to do with my cats because they would probably just take off, but I may force them to sit there and while I read them a book. And also another random note, this is so random, but I noticed that in her house, well, her aunt's house, there were pillows on the couch, which are the exact same pillows that you got me last year for Christmas. And I was like,
Oh,
the ones with joy and stuff. I'm like, hey,
yeah.
those are my pillows.
I didn't even catch that. Good catch.
I know she has such good taste.
Of course. Well, and I love that because I'm always looking for those little oddities in the movie. So that was a good catch. I just want to go back to the one thing that you talked about with the adoption, because Gareth and I were foster parents, as you know, and we were foster parents for over 17 years. And I
Mhm.
know how hard the holidays are for these precious children and how much a pet can help with filling that void. I thought them showing that whole therapeutic value of that was a really strong highlight there. That was really sweet.
I agree. It was great to connect the two like that. And it's so funny because like you're talking about how it took her so long to
Yeah.
connect everything. And like right from the beginning, she's looking for a place to call, quote unquote home. But it seemed obvious to me from the beginning that her aunt's home could just be that, even though it would mean, moving her life to that town. It seemed like an obvious connection to me. So it's not surprising in the end that she chose to do just that. But it also shows that part of the joy of watching these movies is partly to, even though if we can guess what's going to happen, we want to see the journey of these characters, how, the journey they're taking to get to their happy ending, not just the ending itself.
Now, I don't know if you watch this show in real time. I watched it in real time. So at the beginning of
Yes,
the movie, it was instead of regular commercials, it was that special Ottawa advertising where they
I
did
did
that
watch that.
little clips, like they did like a Hallmark clip. I thought that was a really great Ontario ad to show about, our capital and because it was in a Hallmark way. But I just thought
Yes.
that was really interesting. So the reason I brought it up because we were talking about something else, and it reminded me how these random notes. Twice, Gareth and I thought, "Oh my God, did we hit the button and change the channel?" Because that's how much
Me
we thought.
too. I was like, did it switch
Oh,
over to another movie? And I'm like, because I still watch it on my streaming app. It was live, but I was like, did I hit a button
yeah, exactly. It took after the second one, we were like, "Oh, now I get." Because then this time we actually noticed the whole. This is a paid such and such from
from
where they were like, "Oh
Tourism Ottawa?
gosh,
Yeah.
we're idiots, right?" Because we're like, "What the heck happened?" Okay, so let's go to our drink for this week. It was Candy Cane Christmas Mocktail, 8 ounce, half and half, 12-ounce cream soda, 4 teaspoons of simple syrup, 3 to 4 drops of peppermint oil, rimmed and crushed with candy canes and garnished with a candy cane. This drink looked awesome. For sure. It tasted for me like a really nice Christmas dessert almost. It was like a nice sweet treat for me.
I was super excited that it was pink because we used the pink cream soda in it. But to me, it turned out it looked and tasted a little bit too much like Pepto-Bismol, honestly, I have to say, than a delicious Christmas mocktail. So, but oh well, you can't win them all. Not everyone can be great. But if you'd like to try the Candy Cane Christmas mocktail or any of the drinks in our episodes, you can find the recipe on our social posts for each show. Well, fellow crown heads, we've come to the end of today's chat.
You can find all our episodes on your favorite podcast network.
And on our website, sistersipandchat.ca. Subscribe and never miss a chat session.
Thanks for listening. Join us next time.
And we'll save you a seat on the sofa.